This is my persuasive speech. My name is Arturo Torres. Well, to begin with, how many guys here are Shark Week fans? well, what I'm gonna be presenting is whether it is a prehistoric shark still alive today. A prehistoric shark that is supposed to be extinct may still be alive today in our oceans. The name of this prehistoric shark is called a megalodon, which is a shark that lived millions of years ago during the Cretaceous period and was one of the largest sea creatures in the ocean. This shark was huge. This creature was 15 to 24 meters long, or if not 70 or 80 feet long. Recently, scientists have evidence that this megashark may in fact still be alive. A couple months ago, Shark Week's team made a segment about a modern megalodon existing in our waters, swimming in the deep ocean. In this presentation, I will be talking whether a megalodon exists or not. First, I'll be explaining the non-believers, then I'll talk to believers, then I'll talk about my own thought about the topic. A shark this huge can question many people about whether this is indeed real or may cause a lot of panic towards the people, or this could all be a hoax. In an article from Discover magazine, Discovery's Megalodon Defense, We Don't Know or We Don't Care, by Christy Wilcox, disproves the existence of this megashark. In the article, Wilcox goes and asks different scientists who study the ocean and creatures of the sea about whether them and other colleagues talk about the existence of megalodon roaming in the oceans. In the article, Wilcox asks Dovey Kasiev, a PhD candidate at San Diego State University, studying the population genetics of shorefish, mackerel, and common pressure sharks, about the existence of megalodon, and Casey says that they don't exist, that died millions years ago. He writes a quote, he says a quote, we sometimes discuss what it would be like if megalodon still existed. What would it prey upon and where would it live? But as to its current existence, never do any of my colleagues and I ever possibly argue that megalodon still existed. Wilcox not only asks scientists who study living sharks, but also asks scientists who study the remains of the prehistoric sharks, and they practically say the same thing, that they don't exist in the modern day and died long ago. In another article called Viewers Bite Discovery Over Shark Week by David Bowder, he states the position that a modern megalodon doesn't exist as well. In the article, Bowder says Discovery, Shark Week website, Facebook, and Twitter sites filled after the show with complaints for fans who objected to the program, saying that they were surprised a science-based network seriously discussed the existence of a fearsome creature when there is no evidence it exists today. He is basically saying that why show something that we all know that doesn't even exist on a channel that we, most of us, watch just for facts or for something that we want to know about the world. And this just gave Discovery a bad reputation considering what they've shown in the past. And based from, also I was reading from the same article that the actors that from the show, the people that were in the show were considered to be actors. They weren't real scientists to begin with to actually talk about the topic. On one hand, I agree with Wilcox that asking professionals who study these creatures was a good idea to see what they had to say, but considering that in a website called Inquisitor News, they have an article called Modern Megalodon, Great White Shark Bigger Than Shark Week's Megashark the Submarine Spotted. They are insisting that a megalodon exists. With the evidence they have offered in the article, it can say that they believe in its existence. The shark might not be big as megalodon in the dinosaur era, but there are some great whites out there that are growing into their lengths. The evidence that they show, whether it's videos, pictures, and they even found but it's supposed to be a megalodon tooth, and it looks fresh as if it was broken from its mouth. Not only Inquisitor, but the Discovery team themselves believe that a megalodon, or something related to a megalodon, exists in the ocean. In an interview that I saw called Megalodon, the New Evidence from Discovery, they interviewed Martin Isaacs, an Australian marine biodiversity project researcher, about the video about what he caught on camera of a modern-day baby megalodon. Considering what both sides have to say in which what they think, whether the existence of the shark truly exists, well, in my case, I believe that the shark really does exist, because considering that an article called Discovery Hammered for a Shark Week Special by the same person, David Bowder, he writes a quote that someone says, "It's the ultimate Shark Week fantasy," said Michael Sorensen, Discovery Senior Director of Programming. The stories have been out there for years, and with 95% of the ocean unexplored, who really knows? Based from this, I can say that why can't a megalodon exist today? At one point, most of us didn't believe that a giant squid even existed, but discovered that it truly does exist today. Considering that I'm a person that believes in seeing that until I see it, I'm not gonna believe in something that is created by someone. And if I were to actually go into the sea and actually see this creature, I'll actually be scared out of my mind, but at the same time happy because because I saw it with my own eyes, and I will also record it because I want people to call me crazy and saying that it was all just in my head. And now that I explained what the non-believers say, what the believers say, and what I think of the subject, let's finish this up. There really isn't much to this view of the massive orbit of a modern-day megalodon in the oceans. The real question concerning these issues has to do with whether or not this shark exists, or if it's swimming in the big blue sea. Put simply, what would a megalodon even attempt to keep it alive? Whether this megalodon is a male or female. For the information I have read from these articles and videos, it sounds like this megashark will probably hunt around the middle of the sea near fluids that can keep the shark alive and hide in the deepest part of the ocean where nothing can detect it. Now that I've finished that, I will show you a quick video of a baby shark.
Intriguing video. And now to elaborate more on it, we welcome to the studio the man who shot it, Mr. Martin Isaacs. Thanks for being here, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, what do you do for a living, sir?
Well, I'm a researcher and filmmaker for the Australian Marine Biodiversity Project. That's an organisation dedicated to protecting our coastal environment.
And how did you get involved in Drake's investigation?
Well, Colin contacted our agency and a lot of other ocean-based organisations asking us to let them know if they saw any unusual shark sightings. So when I got this on video, I called.
All right, tell us about this footage.
Well, I was in Western Australia. It was in March during the shark cull. I was diving.
All right, so whoa, what's a shark cull?
Oh, but that's a new policy this year where they're catching and disposing of large predatory sharks in areas where people have been killed recently.
Okay, like thinning the herd kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's pretty controversial. They say they're just doing this once, but, you know, who knows?
So you're documenting this. How?
Well, I'd go out on the water and film the harvest whenever it was happening. And when it wasn't, I went diving with schools of great whites to get some beauty shots.
All right, let's take a look at that footage once again.
Right, yeah, here we are. We were just shooting these clips to celebrate the grace and beauty of these animals.
And then you caught this.
Right. Yeah, I saw some shark go by that didn't quite fit in.
What'd you make of this thing?
Well, at first I thought it was a great white with some kind of skin condition, or I don't know, it had sustained damage.
Drake, did you have the same initial assessment? What was yours?
Well, it certainly is the size of a great white, but there's more going on than just the skin. Take a closer look at its back.
Okay.
You can see bumps along its spine.
Right there on both sides, right?
Yeah, that's more than just an abnormality. That's a genetic structural difference in its cartilage, which suggests a much sturdier animal.
So in your estimation, this is not a great white.
No, and there's something else too. Take a closer look at that pectoral fin.
Okay.
Right on the back edge, right near the body. You see that point?
Yeah.
That doesn't fit the taxonomy of great whites either, or any other large shark known today. But it does match another animal. If we could get that picture back up.
The freeze frame?
Yeah, all right, so use the freeze frame from Jake Skelton's saline footage, right? And right over there, right near the body.
Well, I'll be darned. A point on the pectoral fin.
Yeah, this is the same species, just a much bigger animal, which means that the shark in Australia is not an adult great white, it's a baby megalodon.
And that is it.